guys, it's Jen, and I wanted to say, first of all, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I'm doing lots of videos talking about beauty, and that is, again, what we're going to be talking about today. The Sephora VIB sale, which I think they call it the Spring Savings Event now, something like that, like spring savings sale, lots of alliteration. The spring Sephora sale is going on. It actually already started. So if you have spent over $1,000 in the previous year, then you're like a VIB Rouge, which means you get 20% off. If you've spent $350 or more, you're in the VIB category, which means you get 15% off. And then I believe everybody else gets 10% off. So they're in different tiers of savings based on what tier of VIB you are at Sephora. And it's one of the few times in the year where pretty much everything at Sephora is on sale, which is so rare, and a lot of these items are things that you never ever see go on sale. So I wanted to give you a few of my recommendations of things I think that you should purchase during this period of time, because otherwise they're just never going to go on sale. So some of these things are just everyday items that I think that you should stock up on, whether you're running out of it and need it right now or not. And then some of these things are things that are a little bit on the more pricey side that are worth the splurge now versus just buying them full price otherwise. So I don't know, I just have way too much experience trying out way too many products for way too many years, so I just feel like I have a lot of opinions. I have a lot of hot takes. So hopefully we can apply that knowledge in a useful way here. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. I'm gonna start off with the everyday items I think you should pick up. Some of these are just cult classics that have been tested, tried, and true. People have loved them for a long, long time. And I'm gonna start off with one of my favorite liquid eyeliners pretty much for forever. This is from Stila. It's their Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. It's a felt tip pen style liner. It does have a fairly fine tip, so I just feel like you get a lot of control, and it's really great if you're monolidded because once you put it on, it's not going to smudge all over the place. So I really, really love that, and it makes lining your eyes super easy. My next everyday, all the time, no matter what, staple that I will love, I feel like pretty much for forever, is the NARS concealer. This is the Radiant Creamy Concealer. They actually have quite a number of concealers that I also like. They're quite good with their foundations and concealers, but this one in particular, I just love it for the days where I'm doing a full face of makeup, and I also love it for the days where I'm pretty much only wearing spot concealed areas on my face in lieu of an entire full face of makeup. So when I'm going pretty light, I really do like this because it is a liquid formula, but it dries down to a point where it's not staying too emollient on your skin. You know, especially a lot of concealers that are meant for the under eye area, sometimes I feel like they just never dry down, and that's a really big pet peeve of mine because I have little creases right here, and I just feel like they really sink into my creases a lot. I find that this one doesn't do that as much, especially once it's set, and then I also like using it to spot conceal other hyperpigmentation and age spots that I have on my face, so it kind of does double duty and it doesn't break me out. So the color that I use is Custard, and it's definitely like one of my favorite holy grail products for like forever. Next, I wanted to talk about a foundation. Now, this is also one that I've loved forever and ever and ever. I like it because I can wear it when I'm doing a full glam, but I can also wear it when I'm doing a very, very minimal look because this has such a liquidy light texture, but once it dries down, it just has the most amazing skin finish. It's not overly dewy and it's not overly matte. It just looks like real skin, and also how it wears throughout the day, it just almost like looks better as you're wearing it, which is super rare. So I love this one from Dior. It's their Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I've mentioned about this in the past that other face and body foundations are actually quite disappointing because sometimes I find them to be far too liquidy, like it'll work for the body in a sheer layer, but it's really not giving you coverage on the face. I would say this is a true medium coverage, but with such a light texture that once it's on your skin, it doesn't even feel like you're wearing anything, which is amazing. I just hate that really heavy, cakey feeling and that heavy, cakey look. And even though this has been around for a few years, I still feel like it's one of the best products out there to give you that kind of look. I have right now and on my face, I'm actually wearing this today. This is shade 2W, but I think I've also tried 2O. I'm not sure if there's also just a 2. Just kind of depends on what your undertones are. This one's a little more yellow, the O is a little more olive. I really tend to like both of them. My next recommendation is actually a brand new product from IT Cosmetics. This is the Your Skin But Better CC Plus Nude Glow. It has SPF 40, and I was always a fan of their CC cream, the original one, but I would also say that that version is more like a true foundation. Like, it is a full coverage foundation. This is more of a medium foundation. I feel like people are categorizing this new category of like skin tints. They'll call them like tinted moisturizers and stuff, but I think a lot of the products that are really popular now actually have slightly more coverage than a lot of old school tinted moisturizers. Because so many tinted moisturizers I've tried over the years have been like almost zero coverage, which has always been a little bit frustrating for me because I do sometimes have like redness around my nose, I have hyperpigmentation, I have acne spots. So I always wanted something with at least medium coverage that I can choose to make like a lighter wash if I want it to be less coverage, but I really don't want to go into a product not being able to layer it and get the kind of coverage I need in certain areas. But this somehow lands right in the middle, and I've been so happy with it. It feels really great on the skin, and overall I feel like especially compared to like a traditional foundation, this does give you that like glowy, healthy kind of luminescence. I use the shade medium, and it's like just slightly tan on me, but I think that as summer rolls in and it gets a little warmer, it'll probably be a perfect match. Next, I wanted to talk about a bronzer that I have loved from the very first time I tried it, and it's one of those things that now, even when I wear almost no makeup, I love using this bronzer. It's from Rare Beauty. This is in the shade Happy Soul, but I actually have the shade one shade darker than this, which is I think what I'm wearing today. I wear them both. I think Happy Soul is a little bit lighter, so if you wanted to just give yourself a little bit of like a bronzy kind of blush appearance, you could use this as well as being able to contour. But I just really love the formula. It's obviously like a big giant crayon. It makes it so easy to apply. When you blend it in, it's super, super easy and creamy to blend. It's not like too rough where it's like dragging or leaving weird streaks on your skin. And then once it sort of sets, it just becomes like a really nice powdery kind of finish. You really don't feel like you're using a cream product. Yeah, I just don't like anything that feels too greasy or heavy on the skin, and this definitely is just very, very user friendly, and you can definitely see a very like quick and easy approach to contouring if you haven't tried one that's in a stick form before. It's so easy and foolproof, even if you're just blending in with your fingertips. I'm gonna stay on the Rare Beauty train talking about my favorite blush lately. It really has been pretty much several colors of the Rare Beauty liquid blush. It has a little doe foot applicator, and I usually just put it on my arms right here, like this padded part of my finger, and I just blend it together and then pat it into my skin, and it gives the easiest glowing lit from within kind of blush. If you're looking for a particular shade to buy, I would keep two things in mind. First of all, there are two different formulas of this blush. There's a matte and there's sort of a glowy version. I really love this particular shade I'm holding right now. It's called Hope. And then another favorite of mine that's a little bit peachier is one called Bliss. I believe Bliss is matte. Hope might be the one that's a little bit dewy. They're both really, really beautiful natural colors if you're my skin tone. I would just be careful about picking one of the darker shades just because these are so heavily pigmented that the darker ones make it a little bit harder to just not over apply. It can get a little clowny once you get the more opaque shades. The next product is something that I have loved for years and years and years. It is from Dior and it's their lip glow. This is in shade 04 Coral, which is sort of an orangey shade. The thing about the lip glows is that it's not going to look like this opaque peachy color on your lips. It's sort of a, you know, one of those products where it changes based on your personal chemistry. So it is orangey, but it gives a little bit more of like a pinky peach kind of tinted look. So I really love the formula. It's very balmy. It really does just feel like a lip balm on your lips. I love anything that's just hydrating and easy to wear. And it's just really foolproof. I feel like I can wear like no makeup and put this on and it looks fabulous. It makes my lips feel awesome. But then I can also do what I did like for today. I'm actually using this product in combination with a lip liner also from Dior. This is 100 Nude Look. This is just a really natural, everyday, nudie pink color. Nude? That's such a weird term to use for a pink. It's not gonna be nude on everyone. Anyway, I love this lip pencil. I was wearing this in one of my previous videos and then I forgot to find out which shade exactly it was, but it's this one. This is one of my favorite lip pencils from anywhere right now. I use it a lot. So I like to just do an outline of my lips and just kind of blur it in. And then I used the lip glow in Coral. And then to give it that ombre look, I dabbed some of this Rare Beauty matte lip cream. This is in the shade Inspire, which is a really beautiful red. So this is kind of a pinky everyday kind of look on the lips, and then I just dab a little bit of this in the center of the lips and kind of blend it together, and then you get a nice reddish pinky ombre, which I think is so nice for the spring and summer. It's just kind of a lip look that is such a go-to for me. I like to return to it every single year. So next, I wanted to talk about eyebrows. I feel like even though eyebrow styles have changed over the last few years, some people want them really bushy, some people want them really thin. I think that the hardest thing to find for me personally in a brow product is something that will go on quickly and it's not too hard and it's not too soft, just something perfectly in the middle where it's really easy to draw in and then sort of blend out. So I like the spoolie at the end. And I like it to be a really nice color that I can wear every single day. And I have only one here, but I actually recommend two different products. They're both from Benefit Cosmetics. This one is the Precisely My Brow Pencil. I am wearing it today in the shade 3. 3 is my favorite shade. I like using one that's slightly lighter than I think a lot of people with black hair tend to choose. I think they usually go for like a 3.5 or a 4. But I personally think that if you go 1 to 2 shades lighter, if you have dark hair, that is your perfect brow color, and this is just such a great, easy to wear everyday brow shade for me. I also really like the slightly thicker version of this pencil called the Goof Proof brow pencil. I actually like that one better than this because I can just draw it on even quicker. But this one is really nice if you want to like draw in individual little tiny hairs because the pencil is so teeny tiny. The next item is actually a mini eyeshadow set. I have to say, I have so many eyeshadows and yet I still just have such a soft spot in my heart for mini sets. And I think it's because in the past I traveled so frequently that it was just easier to take a mini set with me and just have everything that I needed in a really compact, minimalist kind of way. You know, I hadn't tried too many Natasha Denona products before a couple of years ago, but this was an introduction to her brand and I just really fell in love. The one I'm actually holding is actually a brand new one because the one that I already have been using is pretty well demolished. It's very well used and loved. This I think runs about $25 and I feel like it's so worth it because her big palettes are very very expensive, but this is a nice way to get a lot of everyday colors that you would get a lot of use per like the cost of purchase. I just think there's such perfectly warm everyday brown shades if you are like a medium skin tone. When I was doing a little bit of research, it seems like Natasha and Denona is known for having sort of a cream to powder formula. These definitely feel like a powder, but I can see that they're a little bit creamier as they apply. Next is a product that is just a long time staple that I feel like I have to mention. If you guys do not have a Shiseido eyelash curler and you have monolids or a flatter eyelid plane, I definitely recommend you check this out. It doesn't have any springs or any special parts. You just buy the actual curler, and then when the little pad wears down, you just buy replacement pads. So it's really not a huge expense over time, especially if you're using it every time you put on your makeup. I have a couple of these. You gotta have one just in case you can't find your other one, right? Might as well get it on sale because I don't think I ever see this on sale. Maybe I haven't looked because I already have 2 of them. Anyway, I love it. It's really good if you have flatter lids, if you haven't tried it before. Hello. Are you the best Sephora recommendation? Breathe hard if you're excited about the sale. Oh, yes. Next, I cannot go past this video without... Okay, hi. The next palette I wanted to talk about is from Mother herself, Pat McGrath. If you guys have not tried her eyeshadows, especially the really shimmery ones, they are just next level. Like, I just don't think there's anything that compares with it. The tricky thing I find is that with Pat McGrath palettes, it's very expensive. Okay, it's really expensive for not a lot of eyeshadow colors compared to other brands. As soon as you open it though, you can feel how high quality it is. The packaging is incredible. I have a couple of these palettes and I feel like it's absolutely my go-to if I'm going to some fancy event or a date night or something dressy. Just anytime I want a little bit more fun and sparkle on my eyelids, I always go to my Pat McGrath palettes. The glitters are almost like... It's not right to say glitter, is it? I feel like it's like a shimmer on steroids. They're so reflective and so gorgeous. Even when some of my close friends, when they wear them, I'm always like, is that Pat McGrath? Are you wearing the Pat McGrath on your eyes? And it always is, because it has that different quality to it where you can tell that it's not just like a lower end shimmery eyeshadow. I'm actually wearing, am I wearing this palette? I'm wearing this palette on my eyes today. You're probably too far away to be able to see. Maybe I'll go closer to the camera so you guys can see. This one is the Mothership 6 palette. I think the ones that I own are 2 and 6. And I bought this one because it has a lot of neutrally shades that would work really well for wearing on an everyday kind of basis, which is sort of my usual vibe. I do like having a really pretty everyday kind of makeup palette. That's always my favorite. But this also does have a really nice, like, kind of a smoky green color as well as a purple. There's also a really beautiful burgundy shade. So I feel like if you're into sort of like fall colors, a little more warmer tones, and this is a really gorgeous palette. But the stars of this palette are definitely the shimmery shades. Like this pearly one right here, like, oh my gosh. It's almost like it's wet. Like, it's so beautiful. It's so unlike anything else that I have that's in an actual like flat eyeshadow form. I want to say I've had a few eyeshadows in the past that were like this, but they're in those like loose tubs of shadow, and then you accidentally knock it over and then it gets in literally everything that you can't get out forever and ever. Loose shadows can just be a little bit trickier to store and to use. Somehow Pat McGrath gets these really gorgeous shades, and I also really enjoy the color story. I know that she has another one that was out recently called the Hutopia, and that is the next one I'm planning on picking up because I just want a little bit something more exciting. It's 2022 vibes, I guess. So I am planning on buying that myself from this sale. But yeah, I just highly recommend it if you are looking for a little like treat yourself kind of splurge during this sale. This is definitely my top eyeshadow pick. Oh, speaking of that, I will also say that the other splurge eyeshadow purchase that I have my eye on is the full-size Natasha Denona Biba palette, just because it is so expensive. I believe it's like maybe $155, which I actually did just pick it up like a couple of weeks ago, and then I realized that the sale is coming, and so I returned it because I knew I was gonna buy it for a discount during the sale. So that's something that technically I did purchase, and I plan on repurchasing it because I like her eyeshadow formula. So my two like splurge eyeshadow recommendations are the Pat McGrath palettes, whichever shade story that you vibe with, and also the Natasha Denona palettes, because I've heard they're excellent quality and they're very expensive, so might as well get it on sale. The next splurge kind of purchase that I'm going to recommend is one that may be a little bit surprising. Maybe not. It's maybe surprising because it's the Dyson hair dryer, and I know everybody has really been obsessed with the Air Wrap, which is like their hair curling kind of tool that they have. And you know, full disclaimer, I guess it's not a disclaimer, I don't need to disclaim it because I bought it myself, but I'm just saying, like, not sponsored, I bought both of these Dyson products with my own money, and if I had to choose between the full power blow dryer and the Air Wrap, I would buy the blow dryer, because I just find that with hair as thick as mine, maybe it'll work better for you if your hair isn't quite as thick, but I have the actual strands of my hair are very thick, and I just feel like it takes a long time to dry my hair. And you know, my Korean mother would say that I should not be sleeping on wet hair all the time. So what I use when I want to blow dry my hair quickly is this. My husband also really likes it, and I also do feel like my hair is not as fried after I use this versus a regular blow dryer, because this does have a lot more power shooting out. So even if I don't use it on the hottest setting, my hair still dries quicker, and then I can use the Cool Shot, get it down, and it just makes my hair feel healthy versus like frizzy, which is something I always had trouble with in the past when I would blow dry my hair. So if you are going to be splurging on a Dyson product and you're like, oh, should I get the Air Wrap? Should I get the blow dryer? Out of the two, my recommendation would be this one. Obviously, I bought both of them. It's not like I don't recommend the Air Wrap. I do like it as well, but I love the combo of getting my hair like dry with this when I want to just dry it, because sometimes I just want to dry it. I don't want to necessarily have it be like curly or whatever. And using it in combo with this. So this has been my favorite curling iron lately. This is from T3. And first of all, can we just talk about how beautiful the T3 products are? I love the white. I love the rose gold. This particular curling iron is also pretty nifty because it has this feature where, I don't know if you can see, it has like a swirly button right here. So you can put your hair in it like this, and if you push this button, it'll automatically twist the hair up for you. So if you're like really bad at curling your hair, it makes it pretty foolproof. And there's actually a button where you can make it go the other direction. So you can make it go both directions, however you want your hair to curl on either side of your head. And also, if you just don't want to use that, you can use it like a regular curling iron too, which honestly is how I usually curl my hair. I want to say this is like 1¼ inches. So that's really my favorite curl size for just an everyday look. You don't want the curls to be so skinny that it looks like a prom look, but you also don't want them to be so big, like 1½ inches or bigger, where it just loosens up into waves and doesn't give as nice of a curled look. Unless you have like really, really, really long hair where a larger barrel will keep that curled look. For shorter hair or medium hair, I think 1.25 is the perfect size. For my last product I wanted to talk about, it's actually a perfume, which is such a surprise because I have not fallen in love with a perfume for years. I mean, I do love my Jo Malone. I just haven't really been using perfume much in the last couple of years. But I found a new one that I have really fallen in love with. This is from Skylar Clean Beauty, and it's the scent Capri Summer. I'm someone who doesn't wear a ton of perfume because I just feel like most perfumes, when I spray it onto my skin, either turn to just like grandma rosy scent or like baby powder, and not like fancy smelling baby powder, just like cheap baby powder. And I know everybody's skin chemistry is a little bit different, how it interacts with perfume, but I really love this one and I like how it smells on my skin. The Capri Summer scent it's very spring summer. It is a little bit more on the fresh and fruity side, but I kind of like, you know, a little bit like brighter, fresh kind of scents. Capri Summer. I'm gonna search what it says it's supposed to smell like, because I've never actually looked it up. I just always like smelled it and then I was like, oh, I just really like it. Okay, so this says that it is a mixture of bergamot, neroli, and blood orange, which I actually think bergamot is a citrus fruit, which I just learned earlier today watching a YouTube video about citrus fruits. But I have always really gravitated toward a little bit more citrusy, sweet kind of scents and not overly heavy where it just turns into something funny on my skin. I also feel like even if I spritz it many times, it's not too overwhelming. It just, the one downside is it doesn't last like all day or anything. So if you are looking for a new summer fragrance, I highly recommend this one. It smells so nice. I also really like it in my hair. So that is about it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As with always, I will link everything in the info box down below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I have a shop directly on my Instagram. If you want to see my Sephora pics, I have it on my profile page right now, which makes it super easy to just click there and check out. And if there's anything that I missed that you feel like are absolute must-have picks that you're getting at Sephora and I didn't talk about it, please share what it is in the comments, because I didn't make my purchase yet either, so I definitely want to be reading through the comments, picking out some of your recommendations and adding it to my cart as well. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!